All right, looks like we are officially live. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hope everyone is doing amazing today. I am Ryan McCrary, also known as the Funnel Doctor, here for another amazing live. We got a very, very, very special guest today. I see some folks joining. Do me a favor, y'all. When you join, drop a comment down. Drop some emojis down, share this in someone's DM. Tim Jackson, what's good, my guy? When you coming to Philly? When you pulling up to Philly? Like, what's going on, man? I'm waiting for you. I got to come back to Dallas ASAP anyway. But let me know when you coming to Philly, man. Definitely need to have an event. We got a space for you to have an event, whatever you want to do. See my guy Terry here. How to bring him up. Uh, Tim, pull up, man. Stop playing. Terry,
Yo, yo, what's good? What's good?
what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm great, man. Can't complain. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. No complaints. Busy, of course, but you know how that is.
Absolutely. On the grind, staying busy.
Yep, you already know. So definitely appreciate you just coming on, having this conversation. I know you very busy, so I
Yeah,
definitely
it's needed.
time.
Thanks for having me on. It's definitely needed. So good to catch up with you, and we're going to put down some good information today for sure.
Yeah,
Sure,
definitely.
sure. What's going
Uh,
on, everyone?
yeah, everyone, do me a favor. Like I said, drop some comments down, some emojis, share this out, put in someone's DM, add someone, tag someone, make sure there's conversation. We're going to talk about everything related to, of course, Facebook ads, paid traffic. I had to get the paid traffic merch now.
Yeah, feeling that.
Yeah, I
Okay,
got
I see you.
I got you on one
I'm
since
going to need one of those.
I think I like coined that term, even though I got it from you. Uh,
Right.
definitely. So, like I
Dope, dope.
said, for everyone, drop some comments down. We're gonna have a great, great conversation. This is literally the GOAT. I saw someone say earlier, like the GOATs are on. I'm not considering myself the GOAT. Listen, your son. This is Mr. Miyagi. Like I'm dead serious. Anybody that
It's all
talk
good.
Facebook ads and everything like that, like I literally say I've learned at least 90% or more of what I know about Facebook ads from Terry. I'm not just saying that. We are friends as well, but like seriously, I've learned a lot. He's helped me tremendously. So I'm very excited about this conversation.
Appreciate that, fam. But yeah, you're definitely making big moves too. So definitely happy to share the space with you and give back to our people. Do what we do, man. So definitely, I'm glad to see you come up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, before we get started, for those that don't know, if they've been hot under a rock or, just don't know what's going on, introduce, of course, who you are, your company and where you're from and everything like that.
Yeah, certainly. What's going on, everyone? I'm Terry Foster, owner and founder of Terry Foster Consulting. We help brands scale to seven figures and beyond with profitable paid traffic. So, like Ryan said, I've been doing this for quite a long time, about 7 years in the game. We have surpassed $85 million in sales for our clients. Over the course of that time, we've managed over $10 million of ad spend. So when they say, we kind of seen it all and did it all, that's us because we've been in the trenches. So help lots of businesses and lots of different niches through our done for you services, our coaching programs, info products. And I really just have a passion for helping Black businesses grow and scale because the power of paid traffic, there's nothing like it. So definitely happy to be here and rock out with y'all this afternoon. We're gonna have some good stuff for sure.
Absolutely. And y'all see behind him, he got the awards. He is proving he got the results not just for his clients, but
Right.
for himself as an agency. He got the Two Comma Club Award. He got the Circle of Seven Award for doing seven figures annually. Two Comma Club for doing at least $1 million or more in a funnel or multiple funnels, and the two, minor six-figure awards. So, sitting there looking pretty as well.
Yeah, they definitely all count on people asking like, how did I do that? How did I get those awards? And you know the answer, pay traffic.
Right.
Pay traffic. I started running ads for our business. So we were running ads for our clients, which is great. We were scaling them up, but eventually had to turn the tables and focus on running paid traffic to grow and scale my own business. So, if you come to me and Ryan and ask how to grow your business, the answer is always the same, pay traffic.
And I love that too because I remember we were at TSP. I think Perry Marshall, who's like a marketing expert, if you don't know who that is, Google him. And he was like, "You never want to work with the agency, specific ad agency, if they don't actually run ads for their business themselves." You know,
Right.
so we don't just run ads for our clients, we also run ads for our own businesses. We got skin in the game. That's one of the challenges I see with like some of the Facebook reps. And people will be like, "Oh, I thought this Facebook rep, and he said we should do something about an ad account." I'm like, 9 times out of 10, your Facebook rep never ran paid traffic for themselves or their own business. They don't have skin in the game. They don't spend actual money on ads. So, I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely on that credit card statement. I see Facebook come across mine as well. So we for our clients paying, but there's no way to grow your business like paid traffic. So obviously I'm a fan.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to take it back a little bit first. And I think I know a little bit, and we've had conversations before, and other stuff I see you speak on and stuff like that. But like, how did you get started? Number one, in entrepreneurship, of course, in Facebook ads. Like, how did you become the expert? Like, what was that journey like, and what was like the beginning?
Yeah, so I definitely didn't start off doing this. I spent 10 years total in corporate. So I went to school, got degrees in computer information systems and accounting, also got an MBA, but I came right out of college and got a good corporate job, in Pittsburgh. I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm now in Atlanta. So I was a computer programmer for 5 years, and then I was a business analyst for another 5 years. But, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but, I just kind of got comfortable. That's just the reality of it. I had a good job. Things were kind of stable. So I looked up, and time goes by fast. So it can move if you're not intentional about like what you're doing. So I kind of looked up, and actually it's when I had my son. That was about 9 years into it. Anytime you have a child, that's when you really start to like kind of reflect, like, yo, what am I doing? And, I just wanted to set a good example for him. So if I wanted to do something, but I wasn't doing it myself, that just didn't sit well with me. So I was like, and, of course I wanted to provide more for my family. So I was like, now is the time to kind of get serious, because if I don't do it now, I'm going to look up another 10 years is going to be gone. And, I'm going to just retire at that point, because I'm going to be so old. So I was like, let me think about something to do. So I just kind of thought about what would make some sense. And actually the advertising came off the heels of a failed business. So I was bootstrapping a concept to start up, and it's still a dope idea that no one's done, but that's another story. But I wanted to aggregate like the different social media platforms in one app. So you can have your Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all in one place. You can post in one place and it goes out to all of them. So it's something like that. But of course that was like very tech heavy. I was bootstrapping it. And we worked with some developers. They made big promises, but they didn't deliver. But in the midst of that, I was like, when this gets completed, how the hell are we going to get this out to people? We don't have like a huge marketing budget because we were bootstrapping it. And I found out about social media marketing. I was like, this is the key, because I was never been like a really big Facebook like user and things like that. So I really didn't even know about Facebook ads or like that, except for like the, whether they call them the sidebar ads, or, like I remember seeing those back in the day. But that was about it. But kind of like when I got into it, as I finally pulled a plug on that other business, I was like, business owners are going to need this. This is pretty powerful. I can only see it, growing and getting larger from here. So I said, let me just see if I can make a little bit of extra money on the side. That's all I was trying to do in the beginning, was like a little extra money on the side. But then I kind of fell in love with it. I ran a webinar for a news anchor in Pittsburgh. She wasn't a news anchor at that time. She was going on to like doing some coaching, but she asked me if I ever ran Facebook ads before. I said no, but I know about them and I'm willing to try, and I'm working for free, so give me a shot. So I did that, and it was like a home run, and I just kind of fell in love with it from that point on, because it just made sense to me. Like, this is what you can do to really grow a business. This, if you can tell someone, you can justify. It's black and white. It's very much a numbers game. You give me this one, you give me this much, I can help you make more than that. So it made sense. So from there, I just kind of dove deeper and focused on that. So I hustled on Elance. When I started, I made a profile. It was like on the 35th page. I forget what I was charging per hour. It was probably like $20 or something like that. But by 6 months, I just, kept doing good work, over delivering. I made it to the #1 page on Elance. Then my rate went up, and then, singles turned to the doubles, then started hit a few home runs, and then, some grand slams. So definitely hasn't been overnight. Put in some some time and some effort, and along the way, definitely have built out a team to kind of assist because it got much larger than me, and definitely during that time too, also kind of started to focus on helping the Black-owned businesses, just because I've seen the power of it, and early on, I was helping people, but those people didn't look like me, so I was still happy, but I was like, imagine what I would feel like if I was actually helping people that look exactly like me, and then I was able to do that, and that's kind of what we became known for. So it's kind of a high level story.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And around what year did you like get started?
So I started in 2014. So I was doing it for about a year. So that's another part of the story is that actually at the corporate job, I got fired from that. I got a manager that, she didn't like me for, reasons that people probably understand. But then she started doing some, I guess, researching online. She found out that I was freelancing on the side, even though it had nothing to do with that job I had. But she pretty much tried to like give me an ultimatum. But at that point, I was like, I started making a little bit of money on my own. It wasn't a lot, but I was like, I made money on my own. And once you get that feeling, you don't want to go back from it. So I pretty much was just working crazy. That last 6 months was stressful because she was doing everything in her power to try to get me to quit. But I wouldn't quit because I knew I needed to kind of ramp up what I was doing on the side. So that way, if I did get fired, I would be, ready to make it happen. So on January 13th, 2015 is the day that I got fired from corporate. And then I never looked back since. I said, that's it. So best thing that's happened to me.
Yeah.
One of the best things that happened to me, yeah.
I love that too. It's interesting because I got fired from corporate too.
Yeah.
I did in 2016, I think it happened. And
I didn't know that.
say it again.
So I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah, I don't even like share that like that
Right.
much. I left my job and stuff like that. Like I actually got fired from my job. Like my family members, like my mom didn't even know that. Like for like years. It was like, I definitely got fired. I brought on myself. Like I did not want to be there. I did not want to ask anyone to take off work. Like I wasn't even like doing business like that on the side. Really, I just literally like had it. And I worked in a finance company, so I was already like, in the finance and investing and like stuff like that. So I had a little savings, net. I had my 401k that I had to tap into, but I actually got fired from my corporate job as well. And I never looked back. I never looked for another job. There was other opportunities and stuff that came in front of me for jobs, but I like never wanted to go down that road. I just was focused on like, I got to do something on my own. Like I know I have a deeper purpose in life. So, started doing finance and then of course, digital marketing, agency stuff. But I got a story like that as well.
Damn, that's dope. Yeah, that's the first time I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna start sharing that more.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, it's something a lot of us, go through, especially if you're doing pretty well in corporate. It's just one of those things we have to deal with. But it's all good. Stronger now. Yeah.
And I've been able to make quadruple what I used to make on a corporate job. Like I never made like a lot of money because I worked in corporate for like 5 years.
Okay.
I left when I was probably like 28, 29. So I didn't work that long and I never like rose that far up the ladder. And I already knew like this ain't for me. Like I the ladder.
Good for you, yeah.
How to play the game. I was like, I don't want to play the game. Like I don't want to.
Right.
I just don't want to play corporate politics. So I got out. After not being there that long.
Yep, definitely. Anyone tuning in ever get fired from a job? Is it just me and Ryan being a fellow doctor? Let us know in the chat. Yeah. Anyone else can relate to that?
Chat. I see some more folks joining. My guy Kyle just joined. He actually worked at one of the jobs with me. And I from a couple jobs actually. So me and him worked at a job. My man that just joined, we worked that job together. We both got fired as well. Someone said I always quit. Jeff said hell to the no. Christina said I better not.
I still got mine.
Yeah, Kyle said, yeah, from Prudential with Ryan. Yeah, we both got fired from the Prudential. Right. True story, like.
Definitely. Okay, yeah, we got same here.
I'll definitely quit. Shanisha, we about to make you full-time so you can quit your other job. Don't worry.
There you go.
Someone, Norshay says, same here. All right, great. So let's get into the meat of it, of course. So when you say, like, why you can't sleep on community building this year. What does that mean? Like, what are you trying to say to people? Of course, the question that I still get, and then probably you get, is iOS stuff. What's going on with Facebook? My conversions are down. My expenses are higher. My lead costs or my conversions or my purchases, my ROAS is low. Like, this is the expert, y'all. Like I said, I know some stuff. You know what I mean? But Terry is the expert. So let people know, of course, what's going on in the Facebook ads world. And when you say, like, why you can't sleep on community building this year, like, what exactly do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, well, first thing we need to do is actually take a step back, because a lot of time we act like the Facebook world or the Instagram or the social media world doesn't coexist with the real world, like what's going on in the world and the industry as a whole. So that's something that people need to, understand. There's a direct correlation. So, like, for example, last year, sales were booming during the pandemic when the global shutdowns happened. The results were crazy. You know this, I know this. People were at home, they were on their phones, they were spending their stimmy checks, they were looking for retail therapies, just ways to cope. So that impacted businesses in a very, very meaningful way. But, since then, some things has happened since we started to get back to normal. There's things such as supply chain issues. So people not being able to get their supplies predictably and consistently like they used to. Inflated cost of goods. Every time I go to the grocery store, I get pissed off. I'm like, it's more money each and every time you go. So we're done with that. Postage increases. So it's costing businesses more to ship money. Advertisement hikes. CPMs are higher now, and that's the cost that Facebook is charging you just to get your ad shown. Algorithm changes are going on. iOS updates, of course. Amazon is something that I don't think gets talked about enough in this space, and they're just getting bigger and bigger and trying to take more market share by the day, and they're doing a pretty good job at it. So these are things that we're dealing with now, and pretty much everyone's dealing with that now. Comment in the chat, like, have you experienced any of these things of late? Like, chances are you had. They're not uncommon at all, and that's something that is going on and is impacting all businesses. So when I say take a step back and kind of understand what's going on in the world, that's really, really important, because the translation is that it's getting more stressful for business owners, for small business owners, for me, for Ryan, for you guys, because of all these things that are going on. So there's an old adage that says all good things must come to an end. In that gold rush, that easy money that happened in 2020 is gone. I hope that you took advantage. I hope that you got as much of it as you can, that you listen to, people like Ryan when they tell you to spend more when ads are going well, because we knew this would happen. People don't believe it until it happens, but, that's kind of the game. But, things are different now. And in 2022, there are things that just aren't going to happen anymore. Throwing up an average ad and expecting people to buy right off the bat, like, those days are gone. 10% discounts for signing up to a list and thinking that's going to be enough and people are going to buy. That's not really working anymore. Unpersonalized experiences. People want to feel important. Everyone wants to feel important. If they don't feel important when they're shopping with you, doing business with you, they're going to take their business elsewhere. Organic and relying on organic traffic. So we hear that a lot. I see Kiara in the chat. Organic traffic is still a cool bit. If you want to sustain and scale, you're probably going to need more than that, because these companies want money. Like, TikTok is the real big thing now. Here, people talking about the organic reach on TikTok, and right now it's really, really good. But you guys remember when Instagram dropped the Reels, what the reach looked like? It was massive, and people thought that was going to be the next big thing for organic reach. Then they killed it. And they killed it because they're a business. They're in the business of making money. This stuff is strategic. They don't want you to get rich off of posting organically, because they want you to pay ads, and they're going to give those people, premium treatment. So, the internet is busier than ever. Competition is higher than ever. Attention spans are getting shorter than ever. And, the demand for instant gratification is as frustrating as ever. That's kind of what we're dealing with. So many clients, they got used to just throwing up an exclusive discount and the customers rolled in. They got used to, like, throwing up an ad and the sales started to come immediately, but that's just not the case for them anymore. Inflation, I think, is like 7%. So that impacts buyers' impulse. That means that people are going to be a little bit more selective with how they spend their money. So
Mm.
now, yeah, like if you're not getting that purchase on that first interaction, what are you doing to follow up to provide value for when they are ready to make that decision? Because right now, like the truth is, like they may have to decide whether or not to buy something from a Facebook ad right now or bread and milk or the groceries. And that doesn't mean it's always going to be like that, because it's not. Like it may be a different conversation mentally for that person next week or 2 weeks from now. But if you're forgotten about because you didn't collect an email or phone number and get a follower, something to get back in front of them when the time is right, then you're going to go to your competition. So that's a big thing that really just can't be talked about enough, that we need to wrap our head around is, no, let's tie in what's going on with the outside and see how that ties back into like kind of like the online world.
I love that. Someone said, I'm glad to know it's not just me. Yeah, absolutely. Terry dropping some gems on here tonight. I got my pen. I got my paper here. Make sure y'all taking notes. If y'all getting value out of this conversation, do me a favor. Please drop a comment down. Drop an emoji. We will do Q&A as we get towards the end. But here, so y'all better not get started. We coming for you. You already know. Like,
right.
But I love what you say, because even that's something I don't think about enough, honestly, and I don't hear people talk about, is what's going on outside of just in the world, period. You know what I mean? Like prices going up. I went to get gas the other day. It was like almost $4. Like crazy. Of course, this war, like all this type of stuff, what's going on in the stock market, what's going on with, inflation, like so much other stuff we don't think about enough, of like all the outside stuff that affects Facebook and Facebook ads and consumer spending and that type of stuff. Right. So I love that type of stuff. And you hit the nail on the head, of course, with, list building, collection of people's information, not throwing up just a basic ad and just, I'm just going to do some basic video or some basic graphic, and I think I'm going to put it out there and it's just going to convert and start making money. No, you got to be more creative. You got to have a good strategy. You got to list build. You got to retarget people, and you got to have a good offer. You know what I mean? Like so many components of it. And of course, Facebook ads is just one part of it. You know what I mean? Like I always talk about funnels and landing pages and offers and email marketing and automation. Like there's so many different pieces of it. Facebook is just one part of it, and the best Facebook ad is not going to solve your problem of not having a good offer, not knowing who your avatar is, not list building, not a good strategy. So I love that type of stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Somebody's almost 70 to fill up my SUV. It's crazy.
Near 5 in Cali.
It's travel. That's funny. Yeah, it's crazy. Just filled up my tank and it was almost $60, and last year it was $40. Damn. Dino, think of changing my budget to lead gen to pull them off Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. So Dino, yeah, that's definitely what a lot of business owners are thinking about doing, because of all those changes that we talked about and the need to make sure that you are consistently driving leads to your business. And this concept isn't new for lead gen businesses, but it's something, and it's a mindset shift that e-com businesses need to start being more intentional about doing, is actually generating leads, because you're going to have to be more creative, more caring, and more courageous about how you approach your customer acquisition strategy now. And, we were the same way. Like for our clients that we had, e-com brands that we were running ads for, if they had $100 per day for the budget, we were spending $100 on trying to get people to pretty much see an ad, go to the Shopify store and buy. It was all about that. We didn't put, much budget in towards like actual lead gen, and that changed. So e-com businesses are really not used to that strategy or that approach, but I guarantee you guys by the end of the year, that's going to be your primary marketing focus. That's going to be something that you're going to have to be really intentional about, carving out a budget to do. It's like I said, in service-based businesses, we're kind of used to that space. We're used to having to date our clients, warm them up, sending the flowers and love notes, taking them out to kind of, get down to business, because it's a longer process. So leads in, or service-based businesses are a little bit more used to that. And that's not saying it's not going to still be like the same buying time as it would to get someone to pay you, $5,000 is it to buy a $50 product, but it may take a little bit longer than 1 second. It may take a little bit longer than getting it on the first night. And that's what a lot of e-com businesses, they kind of been spoiled by being able to make that happen. Putting up an ad, someone buys and everyone's happy. But now people are changing. People are used to ads. There's so many options. They want to know, who you are. They want to know if your values align. So you can't hide behind your brand, and they need to know who you are. Closed and hidden mouse, they aren't getting fed anymore. So you have to come out behind the shadows, let people know, and bring people into your ecosystem.
I love that. So what would you say are good lead gen offers for e-com? Because I know that service-based or info products is different. You may be like, oh, I'm going to do a PDF or a download or a webinar or you know what I mean? Like so many different things. Like we a lot of stuff we do, of course, is like direct people to like a phone call, and then we try to sell the phone. So we used to that type of stuff. Like you said, I never run ads directly to get someone to buy a funnel. You know what I mean? Like we that part is like the second, third step of the funnel. So what would you say as like an e-com brand, what's a good lead gen strategy or offer?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of options. One of the ones that, I really love, it's something that people typically are already doing, but it's leading with a discount code offer. But usually people just have it on the website. But if you're promoting ads and say, hey, you want to save 20%, give me your name, email, and phone number to get it, that's a good lead because they're showing some type of interest in your brand, or else they wouldn't want, the discount. Like if I see an ad for cat litter and I don't have a cat, like even if it said 90% off, I'm not opting in because I don't have a cat. So it's a good way to at least make sure that the people that are opting in have some type of intent that they are likely in your audience. So I love that type of approach, and you're going to get in front of a lot more people. Another big one, of course, are quizzes. So quiz funnels that kind of tie into your brand and direct people to a certain solution, to a problem they may be having. And number 3 would be like giveaway contests, but you have to do them strategically. The giveaway contest needs to be giving away products from your store or a gift card for your store. You don't want to give away an iPad or, a Gucci bag or something like that, because you're going to get leads in, but they're not about you or your business. But again, if you center it around products that you actually sell or credit to your store, then there's some type of interest in there. So just get them in the door, get their information, so then you can start, strategically showing them what you're about and pushing them from a lead to actual, a buyer, actually building a community. So that's what I'm on in 2022 beyond, is e-com businesses building a community that they, know how to monetize. And you have to be strategic about it. If you're not adding, 1,000 plus people to your email, SMS, social followings every week, then, you're not doing it right. And the great thing is, unlike when we're talking about going straight to purchases, every business can do this because, like you said earlier, it's all about offer. So if you have a great offer, it makes running ads, it makes managing ads a whole lot easier. So no more, spending money and not getting anything back in return. You're going to at least be generating some leads. You're going to gain that visibility and some awareness, and you can do it on a much smaller budget to get started. So
I love that. I was checking the comments. Shout out to Ephraim Join, Plant-Based Jeff. Shanisha is clapping. The Mastermind fam in here. Mastermind fam drop hashtag MM. We're the Mastermind.
What up?
Last time I was on live, we had some Propel folks too. So we got Propel in here. Do hashtag Propel Gang.
Got my guy Billy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Billy. That's the man. Carmen said, love it. Shout out to Kiss and Tell Hair Co. All right, so you said, so hope y'all taking notes. Number 1 is a coupon or discount code or something like that, like a 20% off, something like that. Get them to opt in, get their information, and then, take them to the next step of the funnel, hit them on email, hit them on SMS. You could probably, like, I'm big on, every time we do lead gen stuff too, we always do like an upsell immediately though. Still could be opted on the front end, But once they get in, it's some type of
Right.
on the funnel, the next funnel page, or in the email or whatever. Also with quizzes, if they, take the quiz, they opt in to get the results, then it could be, oh, well, based on what you answered, we recommend this product for you. We recommend that.
Exactly.
So you could potentially kill two birds with one stone. And then you said a giveaway as well. Kiss and Tell Hero was on here. We did a giveaway with her recently. Did very, very well. Helped build the list. So my next question is probably the question you get number one when anybody's talking about running Facebook ads. What should my budget be? Number one question I get, and somebody may say, okay, well, since I'm doing lead gen, can I spend less? Is the budget different? Do I spend more? Like, what would you say? Because I know that's like one of the questions I get all the time is, how much should I spend?
Yeah, so there's definitely lots of factors on that, like common, recommendation. Typically, I say like for e-com brands, if you're trying to go direct to purchase, to give yourself that balance of, spending enough to get some good data, but not like a crazy amount of spend, would be $3,000 a month. For lead gen, if you have like a lead gen offer, I would typically say $1,500 a month. But the reason I say it depends is because it also depends on, what you're selling. Like if we have an e-com brand and their average order value is $500, then that $3,000 a month budget isn't going to do too much just because you have to, pay so much to acquire a customer to get a purchase in the first place. So, it really depends on what your expected cost per acquisition is. Of course, if you're managing your ads on your own or if you're working, with someone, because if you're working with someone, then you're going to need more budget so that you give them an opportunity to not only make back what you're paying Facebook, but what you're paying them. And if your budget's too small, you're not really giving them a good chance to do that. But the great thing, and what I'm really excited about is, we're having this conversation about lead gen, especially for e-com brands, is your budget could be a lot smaller. You can still see results because, again, it's all about offers. So, typically, like if you're trying to put up an ad and get someone to buy immediately and you have like $20 a day, you're probably just going to, waste your money, or it's going to take a real long time to get data. But if you have that $20 a day and you have, one of those offers that we talked about, you could be getting 50 leads in, per day. 50 times 7, that's 350 people you can be adding to your email list, to your SMS list. There's other ways, like if you have a giveaway contest, you maximize it by allowing people to gain additional entries by completing like a survey or a form to give you feedback on your website. So that's a big problem lots of people have is like people are going to my website, but they're not buying and they're trying to figure out on their own, like what's wrong. Really, you want to ask people that may be the buyers, and you can get that information cheaply and strategically when you kind of do giveaway contests. Same thing if you want to increase like your private Facebook group members, give additional entries if they opt into the contest and then join your Facebook group or follow you on Instagram, follow you or whatever they call it on TikTok. So there's ways to explode all those social media assets, and you can do it on a much smaller budget. So if someone is just starting out, or if they're like, I just kind of want to dip my feet in, like this is the best way to do it because you're not leaving with nothing. You're actually building up an asset. You still have to nurture it and do that stuff in the back end, but you can get started with this approach, which is as low as like probably $10 a day and still at least be pushing the needle forward as opposed to like just hoping that you're going to get a purchase every day and it's not coming.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Shout out to Mom Ray in the building. Kara said they got a great split. Listen, you need to be on this live. Close all your other tabs, whatever else you on. Because personally, I hate when people ask me that question. You know what I mean? Because it's just like you said, it depends. There's so many factors. People want you to be like a crystal clear answer, but it's like it's so many other factors in it, so many nuances of it. Like you said, especially if you're going direct to purchase, depending on your average order value, what you sell, like so many factors in there, and it's like so much harder. It's hard anyway to get someone to just buy something from an ad. It's getting even harder. Product brand like e-com brands, like I said, have been getting away with it, but especially like people that aren't e-com brands, they're like, I want to do this I want to do this event and tickets are, $400. I want to run ads. I'm like, what's your budget? But my budget is like, 1,500 or something like that. It's
Right.
hard. So I think that, and I also, what I see sometimes is people's goals or aspirations don't match the budget.
You've been right.
You
That's
know,
what I was asked too. Right.
I want to make 10, 20, 30,000 a month, or I'm doing a launch, or I'm doing a challenge, or I'm doing something. I want to do a 50K challenge. Great, but my budget is $1,000, or
Yeah. Don't.
something like that. And it's like the numbers just don't add up. So that's what I see a lot.
Yeah, I definitely see that a lot too. So you always got to ask that question for sure because, the bigger the goals, the bigger the budget. That just makes sense. And also too, like there's actually probably like a real answer to that question, like especially if you're giving it from Facebook's perspective. Facebook wants to see you be able to get 50 conversions in a 7-day window per ad set in order to like give it the data that Facebook says it needs to kind of get out of the learning phase. So if your cost per acquisition is, let's say, $25, then pretty much Facebook, let me pull out my calculator, that means like per ad set, it's 25 times 50, doing some math here, 1,250 divided by 7. That means that Facebook, according to Facebook, if you're doing that, you should be spending $178 per day per ad set. So imagine if you have 3 audiences going, like we know that most people, especially if they're just starting off, they just don't have that budget that Facebook really needs to be able to get the consistency and the stability that it says that machines learning, needs. So, of course, we typically don't tell people that because we got to work our way up to that. But that's like, from Facebook's approach, there is an actual answer to like how big your budget should be.
Absolutely, definitely. I do have a few other questions, but before we get to that, like I know you have something coming up. So let people know about, what you got coming up. I believe it's a training, so let people know how they can join that. We can drop the link and make sure we pin it. But because, it's only so much information we can cover in a live,
Right.
So for those that like, I want a deeper dive or I want to know more, like let people know what you got going on.
Yeah, we're definitely going to continue this conversation on March 15th. Believe that's a Tuesday at 7 p.m. It's how to build a bankable community. So these things that we're talking about, especially for e-com businesses, getting more intentional about building a community, growing their email list, their SMS list, their social followers. That's what we're going to, talk about. We're going to talk about how to leverage paid traffic to add visibility to your brand that is fail-proof, not only on Facebook and Instagram. The great thing is these things are easy to also do on platforms like TikTok, Snapchat, Pinterest. It may be cheaper for you to get leads, and your leads may be more quality over there. But if you're trying to approach it and really master those platforms to be able to like get purchases out them right away, it's probably going to be costly for your business. But for a lead gen strategy, we can show you how to do that, and you can start getting some success on those other platforms, which is going to season those pixels as well. We're going to talk about creating offers that people actually want to subscribe to. So I gave you the 3 that we love, but we'll talk more deeply about how you integrate and weave those into your business. And definitely not last but not least is how to, once you get those leads, what's the game plan to monetize them? Because everything is strategic. We get leads and we're going to put them in through a specific welcome sequence. After that welcome sequence, we're going to a nurture sequence. So I want to give you guys the framework on how to make that happen, because I believe that, like I said earlier, by the end of the year, and I'm already seeing this popping up already. A lot of people are starting to talk about this, post iOS update. Build your list, build your list, build your list. But what does that look like? How do you do that? How do you do that consistently? How do you do that at a good cost? That's what we're going to talk about on, March 15th. So if things haven't been going quite as well as you planned in 2022, we kind of talked about the reasons why, but you're going to have to switch things up. You're going to have to do things differently. So, rock with me on this one. I've been MIA from social for a while. Ryan and I talked behind the scenes where I was like, man, I just got to grind and I got to, find out how to get through this, you know, something that works, because things just weren't adding up. And I'm just, you know, not about fluff. I wasn't going to come on here and, you know, talk about things that I didn't believe in when, you know, people were hurting. I went, you know, dark almost for like 6 months of like, I got to figure this thing out and put it together. So I'm excited now to kind of come up out of that, being back on things like that, and, you know, getting to share it with you guys starting on March 15th and beyond. So definitely make sure you sign up. This one is free. They're not going to be too many more free ones. So make sure that you sign up, that you get on it. You need to implement this going forward. So it's going to be super, super dope. And I want to see as many of you on there as possible.
Absolutely. So the link is there. Make sure y'all sign up for that. Like you said, it's free. Ain't gonna be that many more free ones.
No.
So make sure y'all sign up for that. I already signed up. When I got the email, I signed up as well. So I plan to
cool. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very, very important, because like list building is like so important. And of course, you know, especially with e-com brands, or, you know, any business in general, but especially the e-com brands, a lot of multiple 6 or 7 figures and beyond, at least half, if not more, the revenue can come from their email list. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? List. So it's like, you know, if you look at the biggest companies in the world, or your competitors, or just e-com brands that you follow, whatever, ask them how big their list is. You know what I mean? Like
Facts.
someone
Facts.
Not too long ago was like, I'm on this person, like I'm funnel hacking this person, or I'm on this person's list. Like they sent so many messages and emails and texts. Like, should I do that? I'm like, yes.
Right.
Looking at it like you're getting all these messages, but if you looked on their back end, I bet you would see the reason why they're sending so many messages out is because people are buying. You know what I mean? So it's like extremely important, you know, make sure you're signed up. I'm really, really big on list building. I try to build my list 24/7 all the time as well, because I know how important it is. So make sure y'all do that.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely work with a lot of 7-figure brands, and, you know, that's something they all have in common. They have a big list, and they're intentional about growing that list and actually cultivating a community. I'm trying to think. I don't recall any 7-figure brands that we have worked with in the past that had like a super small list, you know, like
Right.
a list of 500 people, like, you know, especially e-com brands, like there's a correlation with those things. But, you know, it's definitely going to take some time, and it's not going to be instant gratification, but, you know, we got to be in it for the long run. Like things are getting more challenging. People are going to drop out because they're not able to do that, stay consistent and do the right things for long enough in order to see the payoff. But, you know, that can't be the case, because if you do the right things and you do them consistently, then they're going to pay off. And list building and making sure that you have people to talk to and getting that feedback is what you need to take the business forward.
Definitely. I say that to every company I work with, especially e-com companies. Like you said, what I've seen, there's a correlation between the 7-figure brands and their list. You know what I mean? Like you rarely ever see a 7-figure e-com brand that does not have a large list. Like it doesn't happen. So like anyone, like if you're not where you are, where you want to be in your business, or you just want to keep growing, I think list building is a KPI in your business. Like literally every single day, week, month, how much is our list growing? And as your list grows, your revenue should grow. You know, so I definitely think that's extremely important. I see a lot of people said they signed up. Great. So another question I have is, you know, a question I get all the time, which you probably get as well. We talked about it a little bit, but what should I do for my creatives? Should I do a video? Should I do an image? Like, should I just do a testimony or review, someone using the product? Like, what would you say to that? I know it's a lot harder now with iOS and everything. You got to be more creative, but people ask me all the time, like, what should my creative be and all that stuff?
Yeah, creatives are definitely really, really important now, especially if you are trying to get someone like from an ad straight to a purchase, then your creative needs to be really, really good. You know, kind of like what we like to do and what we're seeing is kind of like what's working as a whole. And that's kind of like the TikTok-y style videos. And that doesn't mean like dancing, you know, necessarily, but it just means kind of like the shorter, quick pace, lots of cuts. Very entertaining, because I had to get on TikTok and start running some TikTok ads, and I can kind of see why people like to consume those style of videos. So, make sure that you are, staying on trend. You go on, that's a good place also to do research. See what type of videos you're seeing for TikTok in your space and see if you can create similar videos. Testimonials and reviews, like I kind of think that's always going to be king, just because it doesn't matter what you say about yourself, it's about what other people say about you. But you need to be aggressive and intentional about getting as many of those as possible. So always be looking to see how can you add some of those type of assets to your creative chest. In terms of image versus videos, it's definitely a testing. So you got to test. You got to be willing to test images and videos. Typically, well, great video will always beat a great image. You're always going to get more mileage out of a great video, but we definitely have some success, and you can have some success with images. But that's another thing I also love about, when you're focusing on list building on the front end, is that you don't need as much creativity in terms of like your image or your video, because it's so offer driven. Now you still want to collect and you still need those assets to eventually be able to sell them. We're going to pluck those along in the email journey for sure. We're going to make sure that people see them on our social. So this is an excuse for you not to, create quality content, but just in terms of being able to make our ads work. If you're running offers such as the one that I talked about, they don't have to be as in-depth in order to get amazing results. That's something I love too, because the threshold for businesses being able to get into the game is a lot lower, at least on the front end from a creative and content perspective. And then they can work that on the back end when we're plugging that in the other places in the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And, with you growing your list, then it's easier to retarget people, because you could create a custom audience, upload those people to Facebook, get in front of those people. So if you do want to, okay, we got this list, now we do want to maybe test some stuff to go right to purchase, it makes it a lot easier once you have your list, because you put a custom audience.
Facts. Facts.
So make sure y'all do that. Anybody have any questions?
Let's see.
If anybody got any questions, you got the GOAT here right now. Make sure y'all ask what y'all need to. Make sure you sign up for the training. But yeah, if you have any specific questions about your ads, Facebook ads, what's working, what's not working, about your ad sets, your targeting. We just talked about creatives, any other iOS challenges, with all the new rules, not even new anymore, but just rules of domain verification and API conversion stuff, so many different you have to do that we didn't have to do before. You could put a little Bitly up and run an ad, but now it's a lot more.
Yeah, you got to verify the domain, set up the AEMs, a lot of stuff. I do see Dino asked, would you recommend running lead gen to email still, or switching to SMS focus? That's a great question. So I'm real big and real intentional, on this approach. It's SMS focused. So we still want email. We're still going to get the email, but we want that phone number, because email is still effective, of course, but it, like everything else, is becoming less effective because so many people are getting their inbox flooded, especially now that, you guys got a chance to be ahead of this, but businesses are going to be switching to lead gen, which means people are going to get even more and more emails. So just there's a lot of clutter, but SMS, we're seeing amazing results with that. So if we can get people's phone number, they're definitely more prone to be able to open it and make a decision. So pretty much, that's what we're focused on. We will pay, and we'll tell our clients, customers, it's okay to pay a little bit more for a lead if it's the email and phone number versus just paying a lower amount just to get the email. So that's a great question, Dino. Definitely focus on growing that SMS list.
Definitely, because with email, like you said, it's great, but there's so many other places it could go. It could go to junk, Gmail promotions, Gmail social, so many other places. But with text, you gonna get that text message. Everybody's on their phone 24/7, so you gonna get that text message. I know what's the other question. About how many do you need on your list to do a retargeting ad?
So to do a retargeting ad, excuse me, I think that the number is like 100, but if it's only 100, you're probably not, you may not even get any spend at that level. Typically, I tell people that it's probably not even going to really serve consistently unless you have like a thousand people. And really, there's no exact number, but I would typically say you want like 4 digits. What's your thoughts on that, Ron? Have you seen kind of
Yeah,
like the same?
I agree because I know we recently it was someone that in our group was talking about that of like, oh, I'm doing this ad, but it's not fitting the budget.
Right,
Because like you said, if it's only 100 people say, oh, I got 100, now I can retarget. They may let you create the audience.
right.
Facebook may not spend the budget. Even if they do, it's not going to be effective. So definitely seeing that as well. And that goes for not just a retarget audience where it's like emails, but a retarget audience, period. So it's like, all right, I want to retarget people that went to the website but didn't buy, but the audience size may not be big enough. You
Right.
know what I mean? So definitely I say like at least 1,000 for it to be effective with like retargeting and, actually spend the budget and, just have it worth your while. I think Dino had another question. If you aren't getting enough conversions to get out of the learning phase, would you switch to add to cart or something else?
I haven't seen that work. Personally, that's what Facebook preaches, and if you talk to a rep, that's what they're
Yeah.
guaranteed they're going to tell you to do. I haven't seen that though. So I have seen it like if it's working for purchases, and then you like try for add to carts. I've seen that actually work. Like, but that means that you can actually get purchases when you're optimized for purchases. And sometimes if then you go to add to cart, since it's going to cost less, I actually seen that work. But I've never seen it where like if you're not getting purchases, then you drop down to add to cart or view content, that actually changes things. If you're not getting purchases when you're optimizing for purchases, you got to figure out how to fix like what that core issue is. Is it a conversion rate? Is the traffic cost too high? Is the average order value too low? Are the creatives not strong enough? There's something more important that needs to be fixed in order to really straighten it out. So if you want to really have success, you have to be able to optimize for purchases directly if that's what you're going for.
I love that because that actually was one of my questions because I know you get it all the time. People still do it. I don't know why. Like you said, Facebook reps say it, but people are like, well, should I do something for traffic or for clicks or for landing page views or for video views or for add to carts? I learned from you a long time ago, we do conversions.
Right. Yep.
Purchases or lead conversions or book a call, like whatever it is you want people to convert. So, just piggybacking on what you just said, like, do you never do traffic or something like optimize for traffic or clicks or landing page views or video views or engagement? Like, do you never do that? Is it a point where you do it sometimes? Like, because I see it all the time still, people still do it.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely some ways to, weave it in. Something that I do like to do and that can be used on a smaller budget is like going for video views. So let's say that you have a video that's, a minute, it's 60 seconds. So you run a campaign to acquire video views, and really what you're going after is to then create a retargeting audience of maybe people that at least watch 50% of that video. So it's a play into the ecosystem, so to speak, in that you're creating a retargeting audience. Like, I'm not going to do that campaign expecting that people are going to actually purchase right then and there. Because the reason that happens is because Facebook gives you what you ask for. So if you're optimizing for video views, they know the people that just watch videos. So that's who's going to get in front of. If you're optimizing for traffic, they know the people that are most likely to click, and that's who they're going to, serve your ads to. If you're telling them you want purchases, Facebook knows the people that are making the purchases. All that data gets back. So that's why it costs more money to get in front of those people, because again, Facebook, and we're saying Facebook, but this is every single ad platform out there, they're in a business to make money. So they're going to charge you more to get in front of the people that are actually most likely to spend money with you, because that just makes sense. So we see that a lot. And that's why when people optimize for traffic, they always say, I'm getting a lot of clicks, but no one's opting in or no one's buying. Like Facebook's doing exactly what you told it to do. Get
Right.
in front of the people most likely to click.
Right. Every time
Right.
it says that, they're like, they don't understand it. They're like, I don't get it. Like, what's going on? Look at the account in 2 seconds. I'm like, that's the reason why.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I
That's the
mean?
easy ones. I love that one. That's a
Right.
quick fix.
All right. So it's like, can you tell us about Google ads? Are Facebook ads a better strategy, I guess, than Google ads?
So, I mean, pretty much every question you ask us is probably going to be it depends. But we are seeing some pretty good results on Google. Um, so it's worth testing for sure because we have some accounts on Google that are pretty, pretty stable. Once you get Google up and running, it doesn't require as many changes as like Facebook and Instagram. Like Google, you get it dialed in, and then it can kind of run for a while. So you can try things easily too, like the new Performance Max campaigns on Google. They have the smart campaigns. Pretty much you're just giving Google the keys and letting it drive. So it's pretty easy from a setup perspective. So pretty much anyone can go in and do those types of things. And you can kind of see what happens. Like I love when that happens. Like if our smart campaigns on Google Pop or our Performance Max campaigns, that's easy because like they're super scalable and you can just keep raising the budget and you're letting Google do everything. So it depends on what business you're in. We have people on YouTube for lead gen that is working well. We've had people on YouTube lead gen and it didn't work well. So everything's about testing to see what works best for your business because there may be a platform other than Facebook or Instagram that works better for you, but you won't know unless you test.
Right. Definitely. I really say get that number. Yeah, get that phone number. Uh, love what y'all drop in. Kiera said this junk sound like honors physiology. Everybody need to just pay y'all to do it. Listen, I tell people stay in your lane. You know what I mean? Like if you do it, like great, but all the stuff Terry's talking about, like you need to be doing and optimizing, or you're gonna waste money and time.
Yeah. She
Uh,
talked about Willis. Funny.
Adidas, I've heard of people doing that video strategy, do a video funnel based on watch time. Yeah, I
Right.
definitely need to start testing that more as far as, optimizing for video views and retargeting. But I like how you said of retargeted people that watch at least 50%. Don't just
Right.
retarget everyone or retarget someone to watch 3 seconds.
Right. No.
Target people who watch more.
Yeah.
Yep. Lisa says yes. All right. So anybody got any other questions? Anybody got anything else? You got the man here right now. Definitely make sure you register for the training. Make sure we pinned it. Christina dropped it down. So make sure you register for the training. It's March 15th, right?
It's March 15th. Yep. At 7 p.m. I
Yep.
believe it's 7 p.m. Is anyone who's watching, are you being intentional about your list building, your community growth? Let me know in the chat. Is it something that you're allocating some budget towards at the moment? Let's see. I know most people aren't, but maybe that's changing because, like I said, there are people starting to talk about it, but no one's really showing how to do it. So that's what we're going to do.
Especially for ecom, I don't see anybody talking
Right.
about doing it, advocating for it, stuff like that. Damn, I just got why is Instagram only let me go live for an hour? I got the countdown clock. Now we down to 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Okay. I didn't know that, so they'll let you go live for an hour.
Kiera said only for some accounts.
Okay.
So I guess, I don't know. I'm just thankful that I can go live because they actually blocked me from live recently. So
Okay.
I'm glad. But yeah, I don't know why. If we need to, we could just restart it, I think. But said they're a hater.
Cool.
Yeah, but Dino said final thoughts wrap up. If it times, I'm gonna just start it back up, just so we don't miss any other questions or just drop a few more nuggets. But
Cool.
like you said, does anybody specifically allocating a budget to lead gen and everything like that?
Looks like we have some people doing it, so let's see. I saw some yeses. As far as want to send out email, yeah,
Hmm.
budget. No budget. Yeah. So the great thing, like I said earlier, about the budget for this approach is it definitely doesn't have to be as big as if you're going out for, purchases right on the front end. And when I say that, of course, everything is about getting purchases on the back end. We're still in this game to make money. We want to monetize it, but you can do that on the back end. But that front end acquisition, is can happen on a much more reasonable budget.
Hmm. So yeah, definitely make sure you are following Terry if you're not following Terry already.